Hey, this is Belinda with the Southern Scribe, and today I have a journal that I want to share with you. This little journal is made out of a thin weight chipboard. It has 2 rings, and I used the Charming Fragments collage set from Tsunami Rose to make this journal, but then I shredded that and recollaged, if that makes any sense, because I love that look and that effect. This is the back of the journal. The journal measures 4.5 by 8 inches, and I'm not sure, let me look, it's about, about 1.5 inches wide. So it's a nice size for a lady's journal. This one is called Love Blooms. As you can see right down here, I took some fabric and I did some free motion sewing and sewed the word love. And I've trimmed with tons of little flowers with bling centers and pearl centers, and the blooms go all the way up. I stamped and cut the butterflies, and they all have pearl center embellishments. This is a little ticket, and this is cheesecloth laid over the entire cover on the front. I didn't do that on the back. I just left the back a plain collage. But the closure is a paper studio post and an elastic band. So I leave them a little loose because, as you can see, if I push down, I can make the elastic pop off. But what that's for is, if this becomes your journal, as you write and add photographs, the journal's going to get thicker, and the elastic will need to be able to stretch a little farther. So that's why I do that. There's also a little piece of lace down here and some fabric under the stitching of the word love. All right, so let's go inside, and I'm going to show you what I've got. On this side, I put some brown cardstock with a tag over it that's stamped. And you can lift that up, and of course you can journal on both sides of the tag and also on this paper. And over here, I made a little V-open pocket with some stamping on it with the flowers with bling centers and lace. There are 2 paper tags in the pocket. And then behind the pocket is something new for me that I made. It looks like a little door, and it has a flower. It opens, and there's your journaling spot inside, like a fairy door tag. And that just slides right back in there. We have some coffee stained paper. All of the papers in here are coffee stained, and I printed this journal set out on coffee stained paper. My printer will do that, because if I have an inkjet printer. I don't have a laser printer. And if I try to print it out, to coffee stain it after I've printed it out, then my inks run. So I coffee stain my paper first. Got some stamping, a little piece of ephemera under a paper clip that I rusted. Another tag with some coffee stained paper. And on the back of this tag, I stamped a journaling spot. Slide that back under. More stamping, coffee stained paper with a little stamping up here, some bling at the bottom of the page, and some of the corners, as you can see, I did a little corner punch on. And this is a little girl that is decoupaged on with some flowers in her hair. More stamping down here. And over here, this is like a scrap page. I took a piece of book page that was vintage, and of course I inked it and coffee stained it. But then I took 3 strips, or the 4 strips here, of just about this wide of coffee stained paper laid on top. You know, I skipped a space, and put my journal spot stamp down on top of it, and made journaling spots on both sides of the paper, as you can see. And this is just some texture medium with a little pink coloring on it. And I also did some ink stained squares behind that, you can see, for dimension. A little stamping. And this is just a little envelope closure pocket that I made with a little bird and vine cut out. And in here, I just put a little piece of paper for journaling on. You can add more paper to that, of course, but it's just a little tie string closure, very simple. Coffee stain papers, more of the texture medium and stamping, more of that pretty paper. This is a pocket with a tag with a little flower and bling at the top. And this is a glycine bag. And in here, there are 2 paper tags for writing on. I did some more texture paste and an image from a napkin decoupaged of a flower with more flowers and bling. Coffee stain paper and printed paper. Over here is a pocket that I stamped on top of with some flowers and bling and the birds on the vine and 2 tags. These are a little bit harder. They're cardstock with a journaling spot on back, and this one is just stamped craft paper with a little bling. This is a feature. You untie this on this page and you unfold this, sort of like a petal envelope, and there's another journaling spot in there, and it just ties with this little piece of ribbon that is attached down behind it. Sorry, OCD, I've got to tie it before I move on. All right, and here on this page, I did something a little bit different. My neighbor has a hydrangea bush in her yard, and she gave me some pretty blooms. I snipped the flowers off and pressed and dried them, and they are decoupaged onto this page. So these are real hydrangea blooms, and I just used a little bit of inking color swirled in. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of that blue and pink, and just to give it, make it match the flowers. More stamping and cut corners and texture paste. All right, these pages, this page has a tag and it has a little lift on it here, you can see. And you lift it up and there's your journaling spot on the inside of that page. And you can also write on the back of the tag. And this makes this page heavy enough that you can also add photographs if you want to. And another one of those journaling spot pages created with random strips of paper stamped over to make a journaling spot. Texture paste and decoupage with little book page and scrapbook paper punched flowers with the bling in the middle. Stamping. Okay, this is a tag under another rusted paper clip. And another tag for journaling. And this is a butterfly from a napkin decoupaged on and with some of the texture medium under it and some more stamping for dimension. And this is another one of those fold out pages. I did this one a little bit differently. This flower has a magnet in it, so it just lifts off. And then you open the page, you can journal, fold it back in, and then your flower just magnets back down. Another tag under a paper clip, some corner punches. Another tag over here. And here's another one of those V pockets with 2 paper tags inside, trimmed with lace on the bottom. And I didn't mention before, but you can lift the lace, you know, and journal all down here too. And this is another one of those fairy door tags. And you can also write on the back of those, or on the front, not just on the inside, or put a small photo. There's some more hydrangea blooms. Printed paper, another pretty pocket with a pretty long journaling tag there with some bling at the top. Now I took some strips of cotton fabric ribbon and I did some free motion sewing for the leaves and put a flower bloom and some bling at the top of each of those. And this is just a scrap page on top of a page to make an interesting surface writing area. Texture paste and little birdies from the die cut negative from where I bunched those out to go on the pockets. Turn it over and there's another one of those flip pages to write in. Let me see if I can get this in frame. The journaling tag. A glycine bag And in this one, sorry, I have a bingo tag. I'm sorry, I thought I had another piece of paper in there, but I don't. But you can certainly add lots of things to these glycine bags because they will hold a lot. And this is a pocket on the page with some more of those hydrangea blooms decoupaged on with 2 journaling tags in there. I stamped on the back of one of those with a journaling spot. Another tag flip page, journaling all in there. Of course, you can see the sewing. And this is the inside of the back cover. The little tag lifts up. You can write back here and back here. And then there's the back cover again. So this book will be listed on my Facebook page, The Southern Scribe, and it is for sale, and the pricing information will be there. I do all of my transactions through PayPal now because I don't have an Etsy shop or anything. I invoice you through PayPal. They email you the invoice, and once it shows that the transaction has been completed, I drop it in the mail to you. It's very simple, and you'll just need to email me if you want it, and I'll need your shipping address and also some other information, but we can talk then. Thanks so much, and have a great day.